As a college student who is going into their second year, I'm starting to realize that my faith has to be my own. It's important that now that we have these new freedoms that we are using our time wisely. So these are 5 tips that I have to live a more Christ-centered semester and lifestyle as a college student. Hello, my name is Michelda and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In the past year, I have began to strengthen my relationship with Christ and really learn to make it my own. And I'm so grateful for all that I've learned in the past year on how to implement him into my life intentionally and not on anyone else's account. So I've just made 5 pieces of advice that will be reminders for me and you on how to live this period of our life. As always, I have my iPad here for notes and my Bible because I have some verses to give you guys for encouragement. So I definitely recommend that you also pull out your Bible for this video and maybe your notes just so that you can write down a couple of things to remember. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So my first tip would be don't leave your faith at home. Okay, so what does this mean? We're now in college, and whether you're in a dorm or you're commuting or maybe you're like fully online, now we are in a period of our life where we are more responsible for our time than we were in any other time in our life. In high school or middle school, usually our parents were taking us to church and, we were reading the Bible because they encouraged it, our parents encouraged it. Every Sunday you knew that you had to go to church and that your parents were going to drive you or something. But now being in college, you can drive yourself to places, you have your own work schedule, your own school schedule. It is important that we do something with our freedom and responsibilities that we now take on. Since now no one is encouraging you to go to church or pray before you go to bed, it's your job to sit and ask yourself, is my relationship with God actually mine? In James chapter 4 verse 8, it says, "Come near to God and he will come near to you." In this chapter, James is talking about how to submit yourself to God. So as Christians who were now adults, because we're about 18 and older, it is important that we clearly seek God because he will clearly respond to us. And also it's good to keep in mind that these things are here to benefit you and finally knowing God just for yourself and not for anyone else or because that's what your majority around you is doing. The second piece of advice that I have is to be intentional about your friendships. College gives you access to such a variety of people, so it's important that you're not choosing friends just loosely, not just because they're fun or because you like their style. The things that you should be asking yourself about your friends that you're finding is, can I be myself around them? And do they respect my faith? Ask yourself if they're encouraging you in any kind of way, or what kind of person you're growing into when you're around them. This is great to keep in mind, especially in the beginning of the year, because you feel like you have to kind of say yes and be friends to everyone just because, it's a new year or you don't want to feel alone. But if you pray for a good group of friends, then God will send them your way. My third tip that I have kind of ties into the first one, and it is don't let your freedom become your downfall. This one is one of my heaviest hitters, especially as a college student. Again, like I spoke about, you are now in charge of your time, who you see, where you go. College obviously gives you a sense of freedom, but that freedom comes with a really big responsibility on whether you're honoring God or living like Jesus daily. So it's important that you are keeping yourself accountable and also knowing that God sees all of the actions that you're doing. Galatians chapter 5 verse 13 says, "You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh." The major thing is just because you can do something in college with your freedom does not mean that you should. You should always be asking yourself if this is pointing you into the direction that God wants you to live your life by. My fourth piece of advice for college students would be to actually study and be a good steward of your opportunities. What I mean by this is putting faith behind the actions and the hard work that you are doing. Sometimes, we could have poor preparation for a test and then pray for a good grade, but obviously that cancels out because you have not yet put the work in to get that good grade as well. So you may think, well, then what am I praying for? Well, as you're doing your assignments and you're studying, it's important to pray for things like focus and pray for, the spirit of distraction to just leave while you are trying to attain all this information. As you're in that time prepping and studying for an exam, before you walk in and you pray for a good grade, that God was in your process throughout the whole way. From as soon as you received the study material to the moment when you take the exam. Also, while you're, studying hard, it's sometimes easy to just, cancel out your needs and forget to take care of yourself or drink water, things like that. But it is also important to still take care of your body. You want a clear mind and you want a well-functioning body as you are studying for these exams. So, take care of your body, pray, do your meditations, and just really implement God into every single aspect of your academics, and your semester will be transformed. Colossians 3 verse 23 says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart." Something that I would remember is that your education is not something that you should dread or something that, should make you feel really anxious or fearful, but that it can be something that you can honor God through. My fifth and final tip of advice would be to let God lead your plans. The most common event for all college students everywhere in the world is just questioning literally everything that we do. So we question our major, we question, our time, we question where we're working, we question so many things about if our majors and our career plans are something that we are actually going into the right direction for. And that can be something that is constantly, maybe weighing on you or overwhelming if you feel like your major, you don't know why you're in it, or you don't know why you're spending so much time, studying and going to lectures, and it just feels like this huge weight of trying to understand what your purpose being at college is. College constantly makes you feel like you have to have it all figured out, but it is okay to remember that God is in your plans, and that when you let him lead you through your plans, there's so much more assurance in your mind of why you are actively, making the decisions that you're making. It just assures all of those questions that you have. And it's also okay if God changes your plan, A lot of the times the fear is the change, Sometimes you feel it, after a week, and it's like, was this the best major for me, or anything under that umbrella of just worry? And sometimes your mind could actually be changing. So it's just important to pray over, your plans, to just ask God, is this your will for me? Is this exactly what you want for me? And let him lead that aspect of your life. And while you're going through that season, it's not going to be easy, but you're going to be so assured the Lord is changing me for the better, that it will be the reason that you are changing. Your major might change, your career goals might change, your priorities and dreams might change. And these things don't mean that you failed at all. It doesn't mean that you can't focus on one thing, or sometimes God is renewing your mind and redirecting you into a different path. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 and 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." I know a lot of the time change can be scary, especially when it's about, college or your career, because, we spend so much time and money and we pour so much into getting our degrees. It's always good to just sit with the Lord and say, use me however you see fit. With this major and this degree, it's yours. How do you want me to use this? In what way do you want me to serve others with this education. And I find that to be one of the best ways to go about your semesters with him, is just to add him in all aspects of your educational, your social, and your personal life. When he is in all of those things, it takes those stress levels down so much, and you'll be able to share the gospel because of all the examples of how good he's been in your life. So those are all the tips that I have for all of the college students who are going back in a couple of weeks. You know, I am just so grateful for everyone who has watched this video, and I really hope that you guys have gotten something out of this that you can carry with you, not just for this fall semester, but just for the rest of your 4 years in college. I just hope that everything that happens is a learning moment, and I just hope that you guys will be able to pick out more moments in college where you see him giving you clarity, and that you can just give him the glory for all the good things that he has done and revealed to you. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Please follow me on all of my socials so that you can see more from me. Please comment any questions, or please let me know what year you're going into, maybe what your major is, or any way that I can support you guys. So thank you so much again for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!